morning, jeepers and modders. Whew. Yes, still a mess. I didn't do much yesterday. Just watching a friend working. Now, I've been studying. Turn the volume on the phone down a bit. I've been looking at joining the transfer case to the transmission. And I feel dumb now because all this looking I was doing online. I even sent an email to a machine place that makes conversion kits and asked them about the Magnum F. Now I chose this Magnum F because the position of the gear stick was exactly where the Jeep automatic shifter is, right? Nice to keep the console if I can. So if it's not too high up, I don't know yet, because it's quite a high console because the shifting mechanism is underneath, and I don't want a long gear stick because I don't want long shifts. So we'll see. I may get rid of the console yet, but it's in the right place where the shifter is. So that's what I'm working on. But so I wrote the email not really looking at the back of the gearbox, and there's no way you can bolt anything onto this one. The T56 you can get a conversion for, where this bolts straight on. You can make that bolt onto that, and possibly the normal T56, but that's not as strong. This has the later model internals, right? So I'm gonna have to go divorced transfer case, right? So I'm gonna have to put either a yoke or some other joint on here, but this is already sealed. I just come out this morning. I had a quick look last night. This has already got a seal, right? So not much needed there. So I can make a plate and a mount. I'll probably mount it on the front, make a plate, front it on the back and the front. Like I've got a yoke for this, and what I'll do is I'll take the automatic out of this one. I'll go out there and show you. Take the transmission out of this one, the parts car. All right. Let's see. So I've still got transmission in there. Right. I'll take the transmission out. Pull the transfer case off. Pull the transfer case off, and then pull the output shaft of the gearbox that slides into here out of the transmission, and somehow convert that shaft to either a yoke or whatever is recommended. Sometimes you got like a flex plate join, but I could also go like a little yoke to yoke, right? So they'll be sitting like this far apart, probably with two yokes. Let me get the yoke. It shouldn't be too hard to find on the shelf. Is that a yoke? Let me see. Sorry about the camera guy. No, it's not a yoke, that's suspension. Oh, here we go. Here's the yoke. boy. Right. I notice there's a little slot there, but is there a slot on here? I don't see. It's like a double, there's a tooth missing, but let's see. Two hands. There we go. Made all the difference, didn't it? Right. So I've got the yoke on there, and if I had a yoke on this, I could have them about this far apart. This being quite a short transmission. I was actually quite surprised when it arrived how tiny it was. Right, I could somehow turn this, machine this into a yoke. Right, and I could use these bolts, make up a nice aluminium plate to a mount, and I'll also put one on the back. Now I do want to use, I was thinking of going Atlas, right? I was thinking of going an Atlas, but Atlas, and I can also apparently shorten this to a SYE, which is like a bolt-on, but then you need a sliding tail shaft, and I'm not sure what the benefit is. I mean, this is a strong ass 31 or 32 spline. So I was thinking of Atlas, which is already divorced, right? That way, you know, you're basically done, but you're looking at thousands of dollars. This one here came from America, sent by a fan of the channel. I sent him some Australian G parts, and he sent me this at my cost, of course. I paid the postage both ways, and because he's doing me such a big favor, he pulled this, went to a wrecking yard, pulled this out, and I gave him the foldable mirror kit, everything he needed for the foldable mirrors in exchange. So basically I paid both ways, but I think that's fair. He had a lot of work with this. Surprising how big this part is, huh? This is quite a rare WJHD, which has the bigger chain, right? But unlike the Atlas, this has also got the all-wheel drive option. I want all-wheel drive option, right? Because the grip in a straight line, I can put in all-wheel drive, and I can have, you know, all wheels grip, not just the two back ones. So that would be awesome. But I can also, with this as a select trick, I can also select two-wheel drive, right? It's a no-brainer. And according to the internet, this can handle 1,480 foot-pounds of torque. That's a lot. But I'm not a full bottler, don't get me wrong. I am not fully bottled on this. Right, and it's also got the, I just noticed, I never really looked. So it's got the, what's the name? It's missing, that's annoying. I mean, I've got one on the red one. I've also got, for the tail shaft, what's it called? I forget the name. The uni joint tail shaft, not the CV joint. I think this is for the uni joint, right? We'll find out. If not, we'll change it so it's universal joint. I don't want CV joints. I really don't want CV joints. The double cardan tail shaft. I've already got the double cardan on the red one, so I don't want to stick with that. I want to stick with universal joints. I don't want to mess with CVs. Watching other shows with performance, they're not designed for high performance CVs, in my opinion. And Facebook Marketplace, just the other day I picked up a cheap storage tank, see, which I'm going to need. Still trying to save money, of course. Apparently it's been used. Not sure why you had to weld on another filter, but yeah, this will be perfect for my use. Not sure why there's 3 connectors, but I'll strip it and I'll have a look and see what's what. And then I guess it goes this way. Oh, it's got another one on there. I haven't really looked at it yet. I only bought it the other day. Quickly grabbed it, chucked it. It's Aeroflow. Not sure why he had to weld this. Maybe he knocked it and broke it and welded it back up. Anyway, change the subject, wasn't it? This is an HD and 1480 foot-pounds of torque, which surprised me actually. It quite surprised me that it can handle that much power. So I'm like, well, why not? And I can keep. They put these in Hummers behind, you know, the Perkins diesels and stuff. So yeah, I think I'll be fine, especially with the light weight of the WJ Jeep, which weighs about the same as a Mustang. I think mine weighs less than my son's Mustang. So yeah, just checking up on my mate. See how he's working. The internet's an amazing thing. That's not bad, you know. I've got a good reception here from my house, from the router. Netgear, mate. So yeah, I've got to work out a way to put a yoke on this and possibly have no shaft, but just go straight yoke to yoke, right? That is my thinking. So I can somehow get this to that. I don't want to weld it, but if I can get the shaft out of this, right, from the gearbox, which will be longer, and find a strong yoke that's similar to the output shaft in here, or the same, then I can slide it onto the output shaft of the other transmission, slide it on here, and possibly like weld it, and then slide it in and weld it, so it can still slide a little bit. Probably a good idea. And that's all that'd be needed. Not a great deal, right? Let me know if I'm wrong. Or do I need to get like a flex plate join, which is like big rubber discs that are bolted, so there's a little bit of vibration absorption between the two. But if these are lined up properly, right, there shouldn't be a problem with a single universal joint. So what I'd do is I would put this in first, make sure it's really solid, right? Some nice, I don't care about vibration, so nice solid mounts, and then line this one up behind it after, and then make some braces for it to fit and bolt it up. And I think, oh, that's a nice yoke compared to this one. This one doesn't look very strong, does it? Look at that. Is there a better option to this, guys? I mean, that is massive, and they've got these. I mean, I'm not a qualified engineer or nothing, but this area here, which is where all the force is, right? There and there. When it's... Oof, that's weak ass compared to this thing. Holy guacamole. There's got to be a stronger yoke than this. Or is that plenty? Let me know in the comments. So yes, again, thanks to the guy who did this for me. I forget his name, it was years and years ago. But now they're getting hard to find. So I've had this sitting for years, but now they're getting hard to find. So lucky I got one when I did. Yeah, so we've got the selector there, the breather. Well, I presume that this here would have had a weak, well, not weak, but a small yoke on it like this one. I'm sure I can get some aftermarket yokes that are stronger. Certainly, surely. So this is the... Oh, I haven't got my contact lenses in. The new venture, is it? 242. Oh, my eyes. You guys can probably see it. Something WJ. And yes, it also came out in this particular one. Also came out in the Durangos. So I'm not sure. But they came. The 242 came out in Durangos, Hummers, also some Fords apparently. But also, do any of you know, like, how much play is it acceptable in the chain? Do I need to rebuild this first? I mean, I can show you. I've never done any. They've always been good. I've blown one once. That was when I put the V8 in a 1981 Toyota Hilux. I put a Holden V8 or a GM, I think that is, yeah, in for Americans, Holden, and I blew one of these. So, but I just went to the wrecking yard and got another one, you know. So I've never rebuilt one. I've never done anything with these. But maybe, you know, you can see. There's about a millimeter of play. What's a millimeter? About 25 thou, I think. I believe 1 millimeter is 25 thousandths of an inch, I think, from memory, because 1 inch is roughly 25 millimeters. Yeah, so 25, 1/25 of an inch movement. I don't know if that's 25. I wish you Americans would go metric. Oh, so painful. And most of my fans are American, so I kind of have to, like, stick with the trying to convert it for you guys. I feel like I'm obliged to convert to imperial all the time, to kind of let you know, yeah, because a lot of you guys have no idea about metric, what a millimeter is, what a centimeter is. The rest of the world is fine. It's just America, feet and inches and fractions. I mean, when you engine build, we still use a lot of that stuff, you know. Even in the metric world, they still use that. Australia was imperial when I first came here for a very short period of time, and straight away as I came here, early, I think it was a couple of years into it, and they were still doing the changeover, and there were still pennies around, you know, Australian pennies when I first came here. you would sometimes get them as change. I don't know how they did it. But yeah, and some of the older folks, when I was young, didn't know how to do metric. They didn't like changeover, and I guess that's why America hasn't done it, because they're stubborn and they don't want to change, like these old fogies didn't. But I'm so glad we did, man. It is so much easier. Once you know it, metric is just the way to go. It's so much easier. But anyway, change the subject again. I'm good at changing subjects. I haven't got here yet. I will do some cleaning today. But, you know, it's starting to look half decent, right? You know, there's some big items around. I've got to take a picture of that chair. I'm giving that away. There was another one. If I had two, I would keep them. But the other one I modified for my wife into a smart car. But that car is gone now. And I never ended up putting this one in a passenger seat. And I don't really want to put it in the Jeep. I like the Jeep seats, they're comfortable. So, yeah, I'm going to give that away to someone here locally who wants to come and pick it up. If there's anybody here watching that's local and you want it, brand new, never used, you just need to somehow mount it onto your tracks. And you've got a nice seat. Free if you want it. So yeah, those shelves are all organized. Toolbox, you know, everything's in the right place, but it's messy. I really need another one. I got too much tools. But a lot of stuff in the top here doesn't need to be there. I've got a lot of kits and stuff that should be on the shelf, like a brake kit's in there, and an oil pressure kit. You know, compression kit doesn't need to be sitting on top. Should be in a box in a shelf, out of the stopping, you know, dust and dirt. So yeah, it's getting there. It's not like, oh god, I've got to start. No, it's, I do want to resin the floor if I can, if I have time, money. Yeah, this is great for display, but for a mechanic to work on, yeah, they do it and they just wash it and the water runs out underneath. That's all great, but like I said, bare feet, it hurts, and I like bare feet a lot of the time of the year. If the workshop's clean, I like to be in here bare feet, and it's really painful, really strange, but it is. You'd think it'd be nice and massaging, but no, it's painful. So today I may a bit of a clean up here in this area, rip up some of these boards, and again, if someone in Perth is interested in these, let me know. Otherwise I'm going to possibly use them as wall decorations. I'm not really sure yet. I've got yellow and grey. Yeah, not free though. Not free. So yeah, I may rip off the flex plate. And I had a funny conversation with another channel, what's his name? Something build. Oh, wow, I'm sorry guy. So much on my mind I forget stuff. You guys probably know he builds WJs, and I said this is a spigot bush, and he goes, no, it's a pilot bearing. And we're both right. If it's a bearing, it's a pilot bearing that goes in there. But, and I think I've never had one with a pilot bearing. I've only ever had them in spigot bushes. A spigot bush is like a brass bush, a lubricant. You put all the grease in here, you put the bush in, and then the gearbox slides in, and it's basically a brass bearing, a bush sleeve, and it shouldn't be straight pure brass. It's supposed to be porous brass, and it's called a spigot bush, right? So we were both right. My brain said spigot bush because that's all I've ever worked with, but I also knew there was a bearing and I couldn't think of that. So I would also like to know if I can invert these exhaust manifolds. I mean, I don't know the condition of this engine. I brought this HO as a spare because it's an HO. I couldn't let it was the right price. Worst come to worst, I can pull the HO out of my Overland and use that for the build. But I think this one is okay to rebuild. Pretty sure it's okay. It's not seized, so it should be fine. You know, so yeah. These are oil fillers. They fill up with oil. That's why I got a purge tank. A couple of them I've pulled apart. They were full of oil. The breather case, you know, you get breathers. Where are the? Is this? Where's the? Mine has the breathers. Oh, here it is. Up here. Here's one. It's already metal. Plastic ones always break. Here's a metal one too. Is that factory upgrade or did people upgrade that? Because the plastic ones are always broken. The red one has never breathed, and I've never had anything on here. I never connected it because they're broken. But it doesn't breathe much, so I never worried about it. I've also got to find out for the correct injectors. I'm hoping to have an intake manifold with injectors as well as the heads with injectors, so I can run split fuel. With other words, I can eventually run two sets. I can run pump gas. If the compression is not too high, if it allows for me to run 98 octane, we can buy 98 octane readily here in Australia. I would run a set of E85 injectors, which require higher volume, and it also runs some pump gas. I don't know if I need 2 ECUs for that, 2 separate ones and switch over, or whether I can run that off the Haltech. It says it can handle, I think it's 8 injectors, but can it handle 8 at separate times? I don't know. Excuse me. WTF Auto will know. They'll be able to tell me. His Supra V12 conversion, he was going to run 2 sets of injectors, one for pump gas and one for either ethanol or E85. So he would know. Tristan would know. But I'm not at that stage yet. I'm like, building this engine is far off. Even though I'm ordering parts, I don't think I'll get to it until probably end of the year and next year. We still want to go on holiday as well. We have to get out of this place. We have a disabled son, and we are here 24/7, right? 7 days a week, 52 weeks a year. We are here. So sometimes we need to get out. The last time we went out was a couple of years ago, was just on a full drive trip, you know. So for our own sanity, sometimes we just need to get out. I think you know what I mean. It's like, I'm lucky I have this. Otherwise, if we were living in an apartment, I would go crazy, absolutely crazy. So yeah, today's talk was about the next step here. Alright, setting that up. If any of you guys have done it, I would love for you to comment, or even, you know, ask me, and I'll send you my, I don't know if I have my email address on my channel, I don't know, but if I do, you have to email me. Otherwise, you know, just through the comments we can share details. You can let me know. But some of these transfer cases, they don't have a seal here, right? And that becomes a problem. They have to make something with a seal. Somehow they have oil going from this to the transfer case. Not a problem around the shaft. But I'm glad that this one is sealed already. I just didn't know that till just now. So that's awesome, right? Just need to, it's been sitting for a while, I need to buff that up. I'm an idiot for not having covered that, I know. Tell me in the comments, you can go for it. Moron for letting that rust, but it's polishable, I'm sure. And I'm sure there's no rust in the seal part. How many times did I think, I need to do that, I need to do that, I need to do that, and it just doesn't get done. When you're sick, man, honestly, you feel like nothing. So yeah, I never even thought I'd get around to it, to be honest. I didn't think I'd live. So putting a yoke on this end is probably the hardest part of this divorce. It's not as easy as bolting it onto the gearbox, right? It's harder to make it divorced, but in this instance with this transfer case, putting a yoke on this, you know, even if I have to take this apart, take this out and get a machinist to put a yoke on this, I don't think is difficult, especially when we have the shaft that slides in here, right? I don't know what you can see there or not, but it's reasonably beefy. And then if we have a slide in there and then possibly also have a weld, then I think we're fine for power transfer from the transmission to the transfer case. So how long have I been chatting to you guys now? 30, wow, looks like 30 minutes already. Yakka, 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 huh? How's my mate Jeff doing up there? Yeah, I'm not sure. Just a still screen. So, if you have any input, I would love to hear it. Alright? I'll be really appreciative and thankful. If you don't, I will manage to sort it out by myself. As I was saying in a G forum the other day, I ask, but if there's no answers, I will still sort it out. The backyard engineer will sort it. So yeah, let me know what you think, and 30 minutes is plenty. Otherwise you probably go, oh, I'm so sick and tired of that, I'm going to shut it off. And I want you to watch to the end. So please like and subscribe. And if you do that, and you like watching the real backyard stuff where things gets done, you know, difficult stuff that maybe you want to do, if you want to find out any parts that I've ordered, ask me and I'll give you the details, no problem. I don't mind people copying me, copying my idea. I really don't mind. If it's a good idea, why not? I mean, the 12-hole injectors, that was a good idea, and lots of people have done that. So anyway, thanks for watching. Please like and share and like and share, comment, say hello. At this stage I still have enough time to reach everyone's comments. There will be a time one day, possibly, when I can't. I hope that I have so many people commenting that I don't have time to answer all of them, but I'll keep doing that as long as I can. So take care, and love across the globe. May God be with you all. Thank you.